In this video, we're going to preview two matches at the French Open. We've got Roger Federer versus Julian Reister, a third-round match, and Andy Murray versus Marcos Baghdatis, also a third-round match. Now, what we're going to do is start with Federer-Reister, because in previous videos, I said that Fed needs to do three things well to advance deep into this French Open, and ultimately he has to do these three things to have a chance against Rafael Nadal. And they were, he has to serve well, he has to hit his forehand well, and he has to manage his court position well. Now in this video, I'm only going to talk about his serve because I got a question about what exactly do I mean by he needs to serve well. Does that mean hit a lot of aces? Does that mean get a high first serve percentage in? What exactly am I talking about there? Well, he needs to get a high first serve percentage in, and he needs to hit effective serves, effective first serves, but he doesn't need to hit outright aces. He doesn't need to, litter the stat sheet with a lot of aces or unreturned serves. What he needs to do is get that high first serve percentage, because if we have Federer down here, let's say he's serving into the ad court or the deuce court, it actually doesn't really matter which way he's serving. What he needs to do with that first serve is get a return that is going to end up somewhere in the middle of the court so that he can control the point with his forehand. So this would be a forehand for Federer. The circle is the player, stick is the side they're hitting on. Here's a forehand for Fed. So when he's hitting into the deuce court, he wants to get that first serve in. The ball is more likely to land in this area, and if that happens, Fed can move around it easily. Obviously, if he's serving over here, he's already positioned on this end of the court, so that first serve, if it goes in, likely the return is going to end up in the middle of the court. So by simply getting an effective first serve in, Fed is going to start a lot of points on offense. He's going to have the ball on his forehand side. He's going to have good court positioning. He's going to be up around the baseline. So he's going to be on offense in most of these situations. This is not the case when Fed gets a second serve in. And let's just say that Federer is serving over here into the deuce court. And let's, for the sake of argument, say that he's playing Rafa. That's the matchup everybody wants to see. Rafa is obviously going to try and get that over to Fed's backhand. But if Fed gets that first serve in, even if Rafa hits it, let's say it lands about here, and he gets his return over here, but it's not a return that Rafa really got a hold of, Fed is going to be able to run around a number of returns in this area of the court when he gets that first serve in, because the return's just not going to have as much mustard on it, and it's probably going to be higher over the net, higher trajectory. So Fed's going to be able to get over to this and turn a lot of these backhands into forehands. So again, that first serve facilitates the forehand. It facilitates running around backhands when he gets them, but it's simply, by simply getting the first serve in, again, to be redundant, it's going to put a lot of returns in this area of the court. So Fed's going to start a lot of points on offense. Now, if we flip the script for a second and talk about Rafa, what Rafa does is he gets a ton of first serves in, around 70% often when he's playing, or 75% when he's playing Fed. Most of them go to the backhand, and that sets up the exchange Rafa wants. Federer's backhand, typically Rafa's forehand, and again, first serve to Fed's one-handed backhand. Fed's going to be in the same boat as a lot of other players in the sense that most returns are going to be in the middle of the court, or if we have Rafa now, let's say he's serving over here, he's a lefty, so forehand's on this side, and he goes at Fed's backhand. Here's Fed's backhand. Fed's going to try and get it over here, but again, same deal as when Fed gets his first serve in. It's just harder to do a lot with a first serve, so even if Fed gets it over here, Rafa can turn a lot of these into forehands. So that first serve just sets you up for your favorite shot when you get it in, and if you're a good mover, obviously both Fed and Rafa are great movers. So that's what I'm going to be looking for when I watch Federer tomorrow, is he getting a lot of first serves in? Is he hitting good first serves, placing them well, but not necessarily, again, to use that term or that phrase I used earlier, littering the stat sheet. That just doesn't really matter as much on a clay court. Let's now move on to the Murray-Baghdatis match. And I'm pretty excited about this one because I think it could be the best match tomorrow. Now, Baghdatis actually has a winning record against Murray. He's 2-0 against him, but the last time they played was in 2007, and that was sort of before Murray was Murray. He's a totally different player than he was back then. Now, what I'll be looking for out of Murray, and I certainly think Murray can win this match, is more sort of on the mental end of things, because he hasn't played well since the Australian Open, and he said that, it's more mental than anything. The game's obviously all there. I will say, however, that I want to see Murray be more aggressive and move in and try and take advantage of opportunities when he can go after the tennis ball. Against Roger in the Aussie Open final, he played too passive, and he got beaten straights. And, it's not just on a clay court, it's just generally Murray's got to add that little bit of offense, a little bit more offense than he's worked in there right now. And I think that's going to put him over the edge in terms of winning a major at some point in the near future. Probably not at the French Open. Certainly his clay is certainly his weakest surface. But, I think this Murray-Baghdatis match is going to come down to Murray's head. How smart does he play, in his heart? Is he being tough out there and really grinding it out? So I'm looking forward to, obviously, those two matches. There's actually a ton of good matches tomorrow. You've got Nadal playing, very first match of the day. You have Enna playing. You have both Serena and Venus playing. You got Tsonga playing. I mean, you've got literally, almost all the big names. It's somewhat of a hyperbolic, but you've got a ton of good matches tomorrow just because all the rain delays have pushed everybody to tomorrow. So with that in mind, please tune in to our live webcast, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we're having a great time interacting with everybody. And we're giving away a bunch of free stuff in those webcasts. So if you tune in, we're giving it away live. During the Aussie Open, we gave away stuff in these videos. Well, now we're giving it away live during the webcast, 5 o'clock, again, Eastern Standard Time, where we, in the chat, we're interacting, and we'll pose a question for everybody logged in, and the first person to answer wins whatever we're giving away. Today we gave away an Andy Roddick rookie autograph card, his rookie card that he autographed, which apparently is valued around $100. So some pretty cool stuff to give away. Ultimately, we're going to give away a tennis racket at some point, but please tune in if you are around. And of course, we will be doing dry erase board videos like this one over the course of the entire tournament. So hope to see you tomorrow, but we will certainly see you at some point very soon. So see you then.